How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Ascension Diaries YouTube channel. My name is Alexis. I'm a big fan of the Schumann Resonance, and I like to talk about all of the electromagnetic and cosmic and earthly energies that are going on that potentially could have had an impact on our biology, on our mind, body, or spirit, really. That's what this show is about. That's what this research is about. And I'm doing this video today because it is 4/21/2020. For those of you who celebrated the lovely festivities yesterday, my love to you. Thank you for spreading awareness about the opportunities that hemp can offer planet Earth and making that more of a normalized and publicly available resource like it used to be. I would like to let you know that right up until basically 420, we were having a massive Schumann resonance wave. And I would say that there were multiple waves kind of piled onto each other. And I'm looking forward to showing that to you and kind of capturing it here in the Ascension Diaries, as well as a couple other phenomena that are going on. Because on 420 and today, there was a geomagnetic storm, so we had Schumann resonance come in. This is tickling the ionosphere, which is highest level of the atmosphere. So therefore that is susceptible to far more of the electromagnetic field because it's one of the first layers of the barrier, which means that cosmic energy also gets involved. So really, really high vibrating, high frequency, all the way down to the lower frequency stuff. It all makes its way through there. So it seems as though there was energy that came to the planet, at least, faster than more dense particles, which are likely what's now causing the magnetic field to kind of shift. That would have probably been solar wind that came in. And the solar wind does travel around 3 days from when you see things going on the surface of the sun, which we did see 3 days prior to when this came. Really big, and I'll show you. I'm pretty sure I have that data. And yeah, so we had a big blast out of the sun, Schumann resonance got loud, and now we're actually feeling the shift and the actual pressure of these denser, in a way, energies coming our way, the slower moving, the solar wind. So if that all makes sense, I hope. If not, stick I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Come along with me, and we're going to look into all of these things so I can show you what I'm talking about. Okay, that sounds great. So first of all, I would like to say thank you again for all of you who are subscribing, who have hit the notification bell, who like this video, who comment on my videos. I appreciate all of your support. I also would like to invite you all to join our website's mailing list, divinesovereignbeings.com. And you can do that right at the bottom here. Subscribe to site. Actually, when you load the site, it'll ask you. There's a pop-up that comes up. So join the site. Know when we get all of our podcasts and other information and events and products and so on. Now, as you can see, we've got an adoption center for really rare crystal. We have our own shirts that we make and so on. So there's lots going on over there. So before we get into the Schumann resonances, I'm just going to quickly show you what astrologically was going on. And it didn't seem like there was as much astrologically going on, in my opinion, even though what did come in, what the disturbances were, they could have been caused cosmically, of course, but I don't have all that information. And sometimes the planetary movements will give me some clues, but in this particular situation, I don't think that that's exactly right. So what has happened since I've seen you last, on the 19th, we got into Taurus season. Again, planet Venus is now ruling over the planet right now, in a way, with the sun. And then tomorrow we have a quintile Chiron, Pluto and Chiron. So that is the smallest planet and a meteorite, I think, or meteor or comet. Chiron is like a big chunk, but I don't think it's its own planet. I'm still learning astrology, but I like to include it because it seems like it's scientifically viable for this information, for the atmosphere that we're looking for the environmental factors that could have caused all of the things that people were probably feeling the last week. And so that's why I do what I do. But what I'm seeing here is that things are right now not that intense astrologically. Now, I want to show you the readings that I'm talking about because the current charts have reloaded since then, and that wave is like slowly working its way off the chart because I was riding it. I was doing some personal things the last couple days, which you're all going to learn more about soon because I filmed some of it. But no, you'll see. It's coming. But what did I get done during this wave was some really fun stuff. So when the wave first started coming in was back here. This is my Instagram page, by the way, as well as Facebook. I upload these pictures and I do written blogs the most because it's much easier than producing a video every time, 100%. So I posted this 3 days ago, which would have been the 17th or the 18th. So into the 18th is when this all began, the 18th of April. And then we had our first huge blast. This was the beginning of the wave, and then it dissipated after that. So the beginning of the wave, it hit an amplitude of 110 at one point, right around here in that time. And that was around, like usual, around 3 in the morning. So it's a norm, 2 to 3 in the morning, Mountain Standard Time where I'm at, or general time, whatever it's called, GMT -7, just so you guys know where I'm at in the world. That was our biggest blast, and it felt really good. This was the blast. This was the beginning when my mother was texting me and saying, the energies feel really good. I had incredible dreams. I'm feeling like I've kind of moved into a new timeline, into a new reality in a way, which is what a lot of these blasts will start to feel like over and over, because it really is like we are shifting. You're shifting vibration on a earthly, like a whole planetary level sometimes when these blasts come in, because it's increasing the amount of energy in our ionosphere. The amplitude, the intensity of the Earth's noises are getting louder. And it seems like when that happens, we all seem to start feeling pretty darn good, except for there are plenty of exceptions for people who aren't fully in tune with nature. And this could just be a push. When the Earth starts getting loud and it's making you uncomfortable, it means that you are out of tune with your own planet, which is a major red flag and should let you know that there is some changes that need to happen in your environment, in your behaviors or daily interactions with the planet that need to improve, because these energies are going to keep happening and you get to choose if you want to be uncomfortable during them or not. But I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help you help other people who are uncomfortable, and just tell them if you're feeling crappy, like you can see your app, check the links. I always have the links underneath. Check. You can follow it on Twitter, Schumann Bot. It'll tweet you every hour what the Schumann Resonance is doing, so you don't even need to think about it. There's also a Schumann Resonance app that you can check at any time, and it'll open these charts for you too. There's resources out there for everybody, if you have an internet connection and a device, obviously, or a friend who is really good at sharing. So when these blasts come in and you're not feeling it, I would recommend that you need to hydrate. You need to increase the amount of water in your system as well as minerals. You need to begin purging and consciously trying to remove heavy metals out of your system. And you can do this plenty of ways. You can start taking spirulina and chlorella powder in your smoothie every day. You can start... yeah, that's a really good one. That'll will help. There's plenty of other things that you can do and look up that to chelate heavy metals out of your body. You got to do it gently, but you got to do it, and especially if you're being uncomfortable, because it's really gonna make a difference. As well, I would recommend that you try working with cannabis and CBD oil as well. CBD is there's plenty of that available in your body to be receiver of CBD. It's almost like a nutrient of your body that you're not getting. So it could be your body is actually out of tune with nature because you haven't had enough nature in your body, which is what I think CBD is kind of, and what the hemp plant and the cannabis plant has kind of come to earth, I think, is to help people kind of get back in the vibration of nature. They're smoking it, they're eating it, they're taking it through tinctures and so on, through the skin with a lotion. Like, there's so many ways, and it really does help. Also, magnesium and calcium and zinc are also really good to take to keep your body moving and grooving. these are some pieces of advice. There's plenty of other things you can do out there. If you want more insight, you can always email me, ascensiondiaries@gmail.com. I'm going to move on, though, with this information. So this is when I was getting people being like, yeah, I feel great. And so was I, as you can see. Really good. And I was like, wow, really good blast, 110. That's the spring equinox blast I was looking for. It's what I've been telling everybody about is coming. But then I went to bed and I woke up and we got another one and it kept going. So big blast, smaller throughout the day, and then one in the evening, and then in the middle of the night again, and then in the middle of the day, and then it finally stopped. So this was kind of a double whammy in a way, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tiered wave of something coming in. So you can see that this is over a span of 48 hours, all of this information. And by the end of this, I was getting a lot more messages of I'm nauseous, I'm dizzy, I can't get out of bed, I'm disoriented, I'm throwing up, I'm voiding all of the food and water in my body. I don't know, I'm feeling uncomfortable eating. What's going on, basically. And after these energies do persist for a while, again, if you're out of tune with nature and with your own vibe and your own path, this is a great signal to be like, hey, there are some adjustments that can be made to embrace the earth vibration, basically, and just take those into consideration. You can go through, I'm sure, many, many more of these waves and not make a single decision, but it's very likely that there's also an energy that's kind of acting on you. Even when you're uncomfortable, you are still moving vibration closer to earth vibration. The worse it feels probably is the more obstacles that are in the way. And those things are getting worked out, whether it's gently or not. And it's, I'm watching it happen person after person. It's just a transition that seems to be happening on a global scale. And that's why I'm doing the work I'm doing, because I want to help people understand that, because we didn't get taught this in school. And I think it's very important. I was saying the other day that it almost felt like when I discovered the Schumann Resonance was like I discovered water, or vitamins, or something like this, like something inherent to a lived experience and being healthy. It's like I discovered oxygen, and sometimes it feels that way because it's been so important. Like it's like a tornado outside. Like you can see a tornado, you can't see these electromagnetic frequencies as much, but you can feel them, and they also have an impact on your daily life. So that's why I keep doing this, because it's seemingly going on. So now I'm going to show you, that was how big the wave was. Congratulations, we all lived through another beautiful wave. This is how it started to dwindle off here, and now this is like 420, and this is most of today, 420, 421. You can see that the energies have really gone down. So I wanted to report all of that. Things are definitely slowing down. We are still getting some weird buzzes that are happening, but the timing is very consistent to what the other blast was. It's like nighttime more, daytime less, but still, it's still present. There's still energy happening. It's still this like daily pulsing that's going on, but they're really powerful. And I'm feeling like it could be from the sun and it could be from the earth at the same time. So all this information about how the frequencies and so on are dancing around right now, except for like oddly enough, the quality is done this little weird jump today, but nothing crazy that I'm not expecting. Right now we're in calm energies for the most part, at least Schumann Resonance wise. Schumann Resonance seems to be first, and then we get geomagnetic storms. So I want to show you last minute Schumann Resonance, other data. I don't have anything from South Africa, which is always the biggest indicator, as well as I don't have anything from Saudi Arabia, another big indicator in the world. Everywhere else seemed decently normal during those days, but like again, I can't show you because most of the data is not available. Womp womp. Happens. Here in Italy, we definitely have data here saying that Italy was receiving some Schumann resonance amplitude going on here. So there is proof from a second source that this was going on. So that's nice to have. Now let's talk about what the solar weather's doing, because that's what's picked up now. So we're currently, at least that's what the site is saying, we're getting some solar wind speeds up to 500 kilometers per second. That is 100 over average, pretty impressive. That sort of solar wind is where we start getting into geomagnetic storms. The pressure on the planet, the geomagnetic sphere starts to kind of shrink into itself and get more intense. And we also start getting aurora, which was excellent on 420 up over Canada, which is fun because Canada is nationally legalized. So a little celebration up over Canada for that. I really honestly feel that there is like a highly attuned spiritual experience with cannabis on planet Earth, as well as off planet, civilizations and throughout history. It's actually a very interesting thing if you start to like look into it. So this doesn't surprise me at all, because I've like personally was involved with like consciously bringing legalization to Canada. I'm trying to do the same thing to the United States, just with intention, working with the intention of the plant as well, because it's got its own mission. Very cool. So this is cool to see for me. Very proud of Canada for that. And then we're talking about a Lyrid meteor shower is happening tonight. So we are now floating through a cluster of meteor dust and whatever codes are there. And all of this solar wind and everything that's happening now is because of this huge CME that occurred on the 15th of April. So that was 5 days ago, 5 days ago. 4 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago, this is when it finally hit us. It was really slow moving out of the sun too, compared to what I've seen. If you can see gently here on the left, there's a huge expulsion. It gets exposed to the size of the sun pretty quickly, which is fantastic. But then if you look closely on the right hand side, it's doing it too. That is a big release right here. You see a little release? Big. So to have it on both sides, to have it move that big, that's impressive. So I'm happy to see that there's some feedback on the charts on our Earth, because I would have not understood. Like I would have really been stumped on how it was possible that we saw something this big happen on the sun and just have like every day whatever la happen on planet Earth. Like I'm happy to see that there were some responses here. Currently the sun is very quiet again, so the surface is quiet, but it's still shooting off these massive balls of gas. And so we're watching. This is the geomagnetic storm that we were seeing here, and I'm seeing it down here on this chart. Will this chart show me? Excellent. So yeah, April 20th, 21st was quiet, into the 22nd. I got the warning about this around, I think it was around noon today, possibly more like 2 p.m. Either way, this happened today. We had some geomagnetic storms, and then again on the 20th. So impact was happening. The aurora was buzzing. We were buzzing. You can see that there's still some pressure happening on Earth right now. We're still receiving, what has happened from the sun, what the sun has ejected. It is clearly being received. There's more red on here, more increased pressure on our geomagnetic field. Here is another example of that, and it is very aligned and very organized, the magnetic lines of what our field is doing. So it looks very natural to me, and the speeds are down to 480, even though right as I was filming this, I caught that it got up to 1,000. So the wind speed is changing decently, between pretty high to over average. So there's these waves that's still, solar wind is still hitting the planet. We're getting some storms because of it along the east coast of the United States, central United States. I'm not seeing as many storms, but there is some off of Africa here in New Zealand, and that cosmic energy is coming in. We also had a lot of earthquakes. Again, it seems like famously in the United States, there's earthquakes that are off the fault line by very, very far. Like this is probably one of the farthest you can get from a fault line. And it's in the middle of Tennessee that there was a earthquake. And we have Texas, Arizona, we got Idaho is still going off. Like something's going on underground underneath Idaho, and it seems like all these other places too. And up north in Alaska, makes you wonder why they just wanted this chunk of North America as well. It's it seems like the Americans are always up to something, and it's just making it obvious. Like you can see the shaking going on in the world. This one's a little suspicious too, for sure. But yeah, and then of course we have Hawaii always going off. It's always shaking. Overall, though, earthquake-wise, I didn't see anything that was very alarming in the world. And yep. I saw that there is an article about cosmic rays being involved with volcanic eruptions. I know there's a few people on YouTube who like to make those reports and so on, just so you know that when cosmic stuff is going on, it seems like the earth has to actually off gas and like release pressure, and so there's more earthquakes and there's more volcanic eruptions. That just seems to be a thing. When we get pressure from the solar wind and from space, it squeezes us, the atmosphere, and the planet. And it just seems to cause some movement. So whenever these things are happening, it's likely that these areas of escaping energy from the center and the core of the earth seem to be more activated. And cosmic radiation was peaked on the 21st, a little bit peaked here, but nothing crazy. Obviously, we're seeing a very normal kind of like sine wave over the days and over the years. This goes all the way back to 1965, all the way to now. So you can see how there was a point there in 1991, right before I was born, 1993, that the cosmic radiation was really low, which is very interesting. So yeah, I think that's going to be everything for today's show. I hope that the information I shared was helpful and that we can all just kind of reflect on this massive wave that came in. And yeah, it was a doozy. This was the spring wave I was looking for. Hit a 110, pretty impressive. I'm not expecting anything this gnarly to happen again for a couple months, but I could be totally wrong. Could happen tomorrow. We don't really know, but we'll just keep our eyes on the sun and see what it's ejecting, because there seems to be a pattern of how the energy moves, like how fast certain energies are and where it's being picked up over others and so on. I'm getting it. I'm getting the hang of sussing out where all this is going. I also wanted to let you all know that there's a conference that Jayse and I are going to be working at. Jayse is actually going to be the host, and I'm going to be hosting the children's activities as well as helping him host and doing whatever else, helping with the opening ceremonies and all the ceremonies and so on. I tend to be a floater at these things. I'm on duty for sure. I'm always ending up where I need to go and helping with this person do this and so on. So I also have a job. It is to work with the children. I have some volunteers that are going to be helping me out. But if you're interested in coming to Camp Disclosure, please go to campdisclosure.com. The tickets have just launched. You can join us. It's on August 27th to the 31st in Flat Rock, North Carolina, near Asheville. So it's simple. There's lots of accommodations nearby. The camp area has like a body of water. It has some cabins and so on. There's going to be a speaker area. There's food tickets. They have it all pretty well organized, and really great participants as well. A lot of people that I have yet to meet as well. And it's really cool because most of the disclosure stuff I've been to has been on the West Coast. I grew up on the West Coast as well. And now what I've been seeing over and over as a grid worker was that we're going to be doing all this disclosure stuff and opening up all these like portals almost in a way on the West. And then we were going to be pulling and dragging all of that information to the East. And I was ready and like waiting for this moment where me as like a piece on the chessboard being North America or the world, and being moved to the East, it looks like. And so I'm going to be pulling all of that energy over there and opening up something over there and recoding it and whatever. So I'm excited to see, that this is what's happening in the world by the end of 2020 before, all of the next huge eclipse, which is in December. We're going to be stretching this disclosure group to the East. So that's very exciting. I'm looking forward to going. If you're on the East and you want to go, they've got tickets ready. Like I said, campdisclosure.com. Check it out. See if that's up for you. There's another event I'm going to be working on a couple weeks after that in September that I'll also be telling you about. If this one doesn't work for you, the other one is in New Mexico over by Albuquerque. So keep your eyes open for that as well. You can follow me on Instagram if you want to know what's going on, or get on the mailing list at divinesovereignbeings.com, and you'll be getting all the intel that you need to keep up with what we're doing. Hopefully, we're doing our best to make it easy for all of that. So, do you want to do a reading really fast before I end this video? Let's do a reading. Okay, let's do a reading about this wave of energy that came in. Dear Source, may I please do a reading for the mind-body-spirit complex of planet Earth. Planet Earth, planet Earth. What is it that planet Earth was going through with this wave that I'm talking about, the Schumann resonances that were heightened during the 18th and 19th of April? What is it that planet Earth was up to? What does it mean for the beings living on the surface of Earth? There we go. Oh, I just realized I was shaking the camera a whole bunch. Sorry, y'all. Okay. The 10 of Swords, which is kind of like the card of mourning in a way. Like, you've done so much work. You've gotten to the end of your, basically the end of your patience, the end of your energy storage to be dealing with a certain situation. And you could be dealing with feelings of loss, and this could be an ending of a very difficult situation. But within this, we are released and ready for a new beginning, for life moves in cycles. So it can warn about ruined plans or things that don't turn out the way you hoped. But just take solace in the fact that perhaps they were just not meant to be. So I know that the planetary quarantine that's being called plenty of different other names is beginning to lift. At least in the United States, they were mentioned that they have passed the peak of the height of infection in the United States. So they're going to be moving into transitioning people back into their lives. So I think that this wave and that information kind of lined up really closely. And this energy also talks about that in a way that there is an ending of a cycle. The plans that you had have changed, and it's okay, because you just need to mourn that, and you got to surrender and actually allow your life to pick up again and start a new cycle. So the world is going to be different. The world is changing. It is extremely obvious now on a global level that there's changes going on. Many of us know at least like the framework of what's expected to change. And basically it's from the financial realm to basically all the realms where power was over human decisions and their free will. Those power structures and so on are all changing. And it also includes us becoming more responsible for ourselves, which is what this whole thing is about to a lot of people. So become responsible for yourself and take your life into your own hands. Stop giving your power away and be more of a participant in this planet as well. So I think that's the energy that was going on with this wave. I hope you all have a beautiful, beautiful day. Thank you for watching as always. And yeah, like, subscribe, notification bell, comment, share with your friends about this. If you're like, yeah, this wave got me, and I want also listen to what this lady says, I'd be happy to talk to your friends. Spread me around. It's all good. Do it with respect. Don't send me somewhere weird. Just do the right thing. Okay? Okay. All right. I love you guys. Bye.